that is what I call a palate cleanser of a game, because the Vancouver Canucks absolutely stunk up the house. They were terrible against the Winnipeg Jets, and I needed some solace. So, I turned on the other game that was going on, featuring one of my three favorite teams. Sorry, Detroit, y'all ended up losing to San Jose of all teams. Jake Wallman had his revenge, didn't he? But I wanted to take an eye onto one of my guys. I've been speaking about fantasy all day, all week. It's kind of life at this point in time. And on 6 out of my 8 fantasy teams, I do have Laine Hutson. On one of the 2 that I do not have Laine Hutson, I have Mike Matheson. And then on the other one of the 2 that I don't have Hutson or Matheson, I have Cayden Cooley. So, needless to say, this was a really important game for me when it comes to watching Montreal Canadiens defensemen do their thing. Unfortunately for Cayden Cooley, he didn't get any points, but he did get some block shots and some actual shots on goals, so good on him. But the other 2, oh boy. The Montreal Canadiens pulled into Utah for the first time ever and come out the victor. It is a 5-3 victory over the hockey club from Utah, and there were a lot of interesting moments. I won't sit here and pretend like I'd watched the entire game. I only really watched the third. My attention in the first and second periods was focused on Vancouver getting their behinds whooped by Winnipeg. But let's just go over the tail of the tape here. Montreal actually pulled off a comeback in this one. First goal of the game scored by Shane Doan's son, Josh Doan, on the power play. It's Clayton Keller who drives it towards the goal, and Doan is right in front. 1-0 Utah just 2 minutes into the game. But all it takes is 1 minute for Mike Matheson to tie the game after the Montreal Canadiens win the faceoff in their own zone. This was kind of a classic Matheson goal. This is what he does when he is at his best. When he has speed and when he has open ice, Mike Matheson can just fly down the zone. He pokes it free to himself, splits the D, comes in on Vejmelka, and goes 5-hole on the Utah goaltender to tie it up. That was a solo individual effort for the ages that just so happened to have Cole Caufield and Laine Hutson assisting on it. So good on them for getting on the board for this one, but man, Matheson, he should do that more. It's like halfway through the season, he's only got 3 goals. He could have a lot more if he just does that more. But of course, that is a very difficult thing for any defenseman to go out there and do. A lot of things need to go right. The timing, the pinch, the skill, the dangle in front, and beating the goaltender. It all worked here on one of the most beautiful Canadiens goals we had seen in a while. But then quickly giving the Utah Hockey Club the lead. Once again, it is Nick Bjugstad. He makes it 2-1 with just under a minute to go in the first period. The Utah Hockey Club is on the power play, and just as it expires, the puck is thrown towards the goal and tossed in there by Nick Bjugstad. It should be a power play goal, but it's not. It technically came right after the power play expired. So Utah had themselves a 2-1 lead in this first period. Halfway through the second, this is where Montreal strikes back, and it is none other than Patrik Laine. This is a goal that he scored at even strength. Kind of interesting how Laine Hutson didn't get the assist on this one either. I actually can't really recall the last time Laine scored an even-strength goal, or a goal that was scored without the assist of Laine Hutson, but either way, it's another one of these patented one-timers. Laine drifts into the left side of the ice as the Canadiens toss it back over to him. New hook to Laine, the one-time bomb, it is in. And then, with 2 minutes to go in the second period, you had Laine Hutson entering the Utah zone, slowing things down, stopping things up. He tosses it wing to wing to Kirby Dach, who streaks down the right side, cuts in towards the goal. He holds it on the forehand, holds it on the forehand, holds it on the forehand forever before quickly backhanding it, moving it over and shifting into the middle and burying it by Vejmelka. What a nice goal there for Kirby Dach, streaking in and using his big frame to protect the puck. And Hutson, of course, getting his second assist of the night, certainly bodes well for his Calder campaign. The Utah Hockey Club make it interesting in the third period as Logan Cooley ties the game up 3-3. It's a really nice play there by Nick Schmaltz and Clayton Keller. These guys just battling with it. Okay, Schmaltz didn't really do much. It's all Keller, who drives into the middle. He's getting hauled down. It's unfortunately, I think it's Struble, who has a little bit of a difficult time taking the puck away from him. But Keller throws it into the middle, one-touch pass by Schmaltz over to Cooley at the side of the goal, who buries it by and makes it a 3-3 tie, right before Cole Caufield, just 3 minutes later, gets himself a goal to make it 4-3 Montreal. This Caufield goal was incredible. Matheson over to Hutson. Hutson comes in, he shoots, but no, just kidding. It's not a shot, it's a pass. An airborne pass that Caufield has to tick out of the air and tip by Vejmelka. What a beautiful goal on the slow-mo replay there. Laine Hutson gets his 3rd assist of the night. So I'm eating pretty well in my fantasy leagues, and Mike Matheson, oh my gosh, he gets himself the assist on it too. If only I had the Hutson and Matheson stack. Unfortunately, the league in which I have Matheson, Hutson is not available. Believe me, I would have already had him if that was the case. But ultimately, this was a really good showcase for Mike Matheson, for Laine Hutson. Add on another goal scored by Kirby Dach later. Not even really a nasty goal, it's just kind of, he shoots it and he scores from long distance. Vejmelka, kind of yucky on that one, not being able to grab it. Jake Evans also had himself a penalty shot on the short-handed unit. He forced a breakaway, but then he got hauled down. He wasn't able to score, and the Utah Hockey Club continued with their power play. But ultimately, this was a pretty hard-fought game. Utah's a very young team. I don't want to say like inexperienced, because Clayton Keller has been in the league for a long time, but I guess by comparison you can say that some of their younger, more prominent guys haven't necessarily been in the league for too long. But of course, you know, some of the more older guys that they have gotten for that very reason balance it all out. The Ian Coles of the world, I guess you could say. Nick Bjugstad is included in there. Carconi has been up and down. But this team is young. They've got themselves some swagger. They have a lot of potential, I think. It's just they ran into a Montreal Canadiens team that's been red hot and that featured the likes of Laine Hutson doing Laine Hutson-like things. What a crazy game out of him to grab himself 3 more gosh darn assists. There also were a whole bunch of other things that I can't really comment too much about in regards to this game. The penalties. Oh yeah, if you look at the minutes, Montreal had 24 penalty minutes in this game. Utah had 18. And now that I'm looking, a lot of these happened in the first period. Yeah, that's not great. Patrik Laine cross-checking on Juuso Valimaki, Kirby Dach tripping on Josh Doan, Arber Xhekaj misconduct, Michael Kesselring misconduct. Yeah, no, this was a rough and tough game. I saw Brendan Gallagher get the trip on Carconi and then Slavkovsky on Keller in the third, but that's only because I was watching the Canucks and the Jets. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Laine Hutson grabbing himself his, what is that, his 30th, 31st, and 32nd assists on the season? Yeah, no, this guy's doing some pretty good things at this point, man. I don't think anybody's going to go out there and dispute the greatness that is Laine Hutson at this point. He's at 35 points on the year as a rookie D-man. How crazy is that? Thoughts in the comment section below about the Canadiens beating Utah. We'll talk more about the Habs tomorrow morning if you wanted to get into all of that. But this was your game recap. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.